What up? Welcome to the official DoD Podcast.
Presents the official DoD Podcast. The only place where dads can be 100% correct 100% of the time. Don't tell your mother.
What up? Welcome to episode 13 of the official DoD Podcast. I'm your host, TwoLoudtx. Here with me today, my co-host and Guardian Slayer himself, Nolxero. What's up, buddy?
Drop the heroes, get with the zero, man.
I think you got it down now.
Yeah, it's continued on.
It's official.
It is official.
Right. You are now the new space turtle. Thank you.
There you go.
Yep. Thank you so much. The man that took hours organizing all his gear amongst three, yes, that's right, guys, 3 level 30 Titans, the co-founder of Dads of Destiny, POPEBEAR. What's up, buddy?
Hey, and I am such a nerd about doing this. I'm doing great. I realize that each piece of armor has intellect, strength, and discipline, and I realized that I have 3 Titans, and I made a spreadsheet, and I organized them all, and I moved around the armor pieces to, people listening might not know there's a cap to each one in every area, and so I wanted to maximize the intellect, strength, and discipline, so I wasn't going over, and so I organized them all, and I spent like hours trying to figure that out, and I feel like I got a happy place where all my Titans are doing well.
So what happened was you were so used to dedicating time besides just playing a game that you had to find something else to do because you were so caught up in the Twitch stuff before, and now you're like, yeah, I need to waste some other time and not play the video game. So you decided to organize your Titans so that they're all equal. Wow.
Yeah.
I won't be doing that anytime soon. I just move the gear when I want it. And then lastly, joining us today, the man that showed me some DoD savvy love this past week, and the DoD savvy way of playing. Your YouTuber, Mr. Hambone. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, everybody? I'm good, man. Just in the middle of this move from place to place, which is kicking my butt. But side note, did Pope say he made a spreadsheet?
Yes, dude, he made a spreadsheet.
A spreadsheet, Pope? Really?
Yeah.
Is there not enough going on that you
No,
need to
and you know what? Actually, the spreadsheet is I crafted some formulas in it. So as you adjust or move the pieces, the individual rating or score of the Titans armor pieces of intellect will all change, so you can mix and match the armor pieces and the adjust.
Yes, men and women, he has too much time. He's
someone needs to make this. Someone needs to make this website. Honestly, someone should make a website where you have these armor pieces and you click in your.
Let's let everybody know that you were actually off of work for a week.
Right.
So because of what Pope does, he was off of work for a week. So it's not like he has this much time all the time.
But in Pope's defense, there are websites like Simthic.com where you can go and find like the drop off of different guns in different games and how the bullets affect at each meter and yada yada. So he could be onto something here.
I'm telling you,
have to look into that.
If there's a service for that, geeks like me that want to make sure that their guy is not, if you have above 271 light or not, 271 intellect on one of your armor pieces, you're wasting that intellect, right? You're not, you're not. It caps out at 271. So if you have 380, it doesn't mean you're that much better.
Oh my! Before other people fall asleep here on the show,
whatever. There's a ton of guys out there that are totally digging what I'm talking about, and they can just message me and we'll start talking about this.
And he'll help you create your macro spreadsheet. So
yeah,
you can
all
put
5
your
of
gear
you that
in
are interested, please message me.
Well, happy Thanksgiving to everybody for sure. I ate so much food this past weekend, and I really, really enjoyed it. I don't know about you guys. I know some of you, Pope, you travel a little bit up north, was it? North California?
East into the valley.
East a little bit, and Hambone's been moving his butt around, and David, he cooked dinner for his whole family. So,
wow.
How'd that turkey turn out for you there, David?
That was awesome, man. I cooked mine on a slow cook, and what you have to do is for about 45 minutes when you first put the turkey in, you cook it almost at 500 degrees. I put it at like 475 for like 45 minutes, and then you drop it all the way down to 175 and you let it cook for like 12 hours like that. But, man, it is so good and so worth it.
Wow.
Man, that sounds good for sure. You guys do any Black Friday shopping, perhaps?
I just did.
Yeah, I know. We just did some Black Friday shopping on Bungie.net. For those of you that may have missed it, because if you're listening to this now, I believe the sale is over. But they had some new apparel come out for this Black Friday weekend, and had a 20% off coupon called Black Friday that you put in there, and you got it. And I know me and POPEBEAR, we spent too much money on there, but that's our fanboys in us, getting us really good. They got us. So,
I got my hoodie coming. I've got my Titan shirt and my you got the aspect of glass, right? Or the
yep.
Oh, dude. All right.
Yeah, I got the glasses and the hoodie and the shirt and the other shirt. Yeah, we spent too much money, but it's it's my Christmas presents to myself and from my mom. And she calls me and says, "Hey, here you get so much money for Christmas, and here spend it on what you want." So why not spend it on the Bungie.net store? So
there you go.
Anyways,
or if people wanted to, they could definitely find some shirts available on the DoD Podcast website too. I think that would be a great gift to a dad out there.
Oh,
yeah, absolutely. And well, guys, as you may have seen on the forums or heard over the past few weeks here on the show, Dads of Destiny is expanding, and the admin team is doing their best to accommodate all the wonderful dads that are part of our community. Please take a second and jump over to the dadsofdestiny.net website, and if you haven't seen it lately, they're doing a lot of changes and making it better for all those dads that are maybe not just playing just Destiny, but a lot of other games. So jump over there and register. I believe you can register on any page, and once you do, you can subscribe to the announcement emails that will let you know when they have some community events happening or something new coming to the site, whatever it is. That way you guys can stay up to date with what's going on in Dads of Destiny. Especially if you get a new game and you're looking for a group of guys that are moving over there. They'll have links and stuff like that to there. So just jump over to dadsofdestiny.net and check out what all's going on. Make sure you register. Lastly, due to the busy schedule of our founder, DoD Kingpin, he has requested that some guys jump over and help him out. So he's been busy getting all the new site and everything going. So if you guys have a moment, hit Kingpin up and jump over and help his little lonely 24 get some levels. Pope, you probably should help him out there. I mean, he's a 24, man, and you have 3 30s, so maybe you should go lend him a helping hand.
He's on that Greenwich Mean Time, so he's over there in England, and very rarely are we on together. Although sometimes we are. But yeah, Kingpin is he's on the PS4 for those of you who are thinking about helping him out, and absolutely. Anytime I see him on, I try to help him out.
Yeah, any of you friends from across the pond, definitely jump on and see if you can help him out. Well, guys, with that out of the way, let's gather our beverages of choice, and let's get started with episode 13.
Bottles up, Guardians.
Please drink responsibly. Silly kids, drinking is for adults only. Don't drink and ride your Sparrow. Drinking has been known to increase your aim. Individual crucible results may vary. If you have a buzz lasting longer than 4 hours, contact the speaker immediately. No lawyers were harmed in the making of this disclaimer.
All right, Pope. So tell us, did anything special make it in your glass for the holiday season?
I went to my sister's house, and my brother-in-law, he's big into wine, and I'm always excited when I go over there because I know he's going to open up a nice bottle for the holidays. And for those of you who are from California who know this wine, but it's pretty famous. But it's a Silver Oak from Napa, and he opened up a bottle of Napa Valley Silver Oak, and it was a reserve edition, and my God, it just blew my mind. But a Cabernet Sauvignon, right? Big body, bright, full-bodied red wine glass, and I mean, I normally don't drink a lot. I'm a lightweight guy, you know, and I put a few glasses back, and man,
you had a good
delicious.
time.
Oh, it was delicious.
Well,
Delicious.
what about you, Hambone? What you got?
Oh man, today I have some Black Butte Porter. It was recommended. My brother brought this one home. He is a dark beer guy, and I don't really dabble in the dark beer too much, so I'm expanding my horizons, and I like it. I gotta say, it's a nice change up. It's pretty good, and it's not that expensive. So if you're looking for a good beer, you know me and my bargain buys. I don't
think you drink anything expensive, bro.
I drink high class things that can be purchased for reasonable prices. That's all. So yeah, this Black Butte Porter, it's from Oregon, and it's incredible. So yeah, repping the West Coast today.
Well, Nolxero, I know we're recording at a different time today. I know you're about to be headed to work, but you throwing back maybe a beer here before you jump into the car?
God, actually, I was going to say that yesterday I drank the Arrogant Bastard.
Yeah,
that one was interesting. It was really not my kind of flavor profile, but it was interesting nonetheless.
bitter. It's very bitter.
What was it? What was it that Neo called it? He said it tasted like
burnt bread.
Burnt bread. Yeah.
I don't know if it tastes like burnt bread, but it is bitter, like Pope just said.
Yeah, it's a true.
It was okay.
True West
I got
Coast
through it.
California IPA. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I got through it. It wasn't bad.
Well, if you have to drink a beer and you say "I got through it," it's probably not a great suggestion.
It's not one I'd probably buy for myself. I mean, I don't think I'd buy it again for
Right,
myself.
but there's people who swear by that, and that's their taste
Yeah,
palette, right?
I really
so
like it.
It's just
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just
no,
not something
definitely.
that's your thing. That's all.
Yeah.
But more importantly,
I wouldn't say it's
did
a
you
bad
have a
beer.
reaction? That's what I want to know.
Mm-hmm.
I had a little bit. My face got red. It was a little bit. It definitely wasn't worth the reaction at all.
Ooh, so that is a not worth the reaction.
That's the one not worth.
That's the scale, right? Not worth the reaction.
Yeah,
scale.
not worth the reaction for me. I wouldn't drink that for the reaction.
All right, so today I am drinking a Fireman's 4 Blonde Ale. So, not sure if you guys have this over there in California.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with it.
No, me either.
But yeah, it's a pretty popular one here. It's been a few years since I had it, but it's made in the good old Texas Hill country
Oh.
by Real Ale Brewing Company. So these guys, I think they have a few beers that they drink or that they make out there, but this is one of the more famous ones per se, and it's it's not very hoppy at all. It's got a little bit of hop in it, but I'm a big fan of blondes per se.
Oh yeah.
Both in my beers and in life.
Yep.
Yep.
And so it definitely I like the taste palette that it gives me there. So it's very, very flavorful, and I think it was suggested to me by someone here locally in DoD as well on Twitter like a few weeks ago. So I can't remember exactly who that was, but I figured I'd pick it up. I saw it at the store, and I'm enjoying it. So.
Well, I talked about what I drank for Thanksgiving, right? Last night, and I'm of that same color, taste palette right now because I maybe had a little too much to drink because this morning I'm trying a really light beer that kind of just a hair of the dog sort of thing, but it's Stella Artois. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but it's a Belgian beer. And it's a classic, very, very light.
Dude, I've seen a ton of commercials for that thing here the past few days.
It is a wonderful beer that is just light, tasty, and I don't know. When I woke up this morning and I had a little bit of some coffee and some breakfast, some greasy breakfast.
Wash it down with a Stella.
This is what happened.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, that's awesome. Well, yeah, man, we have really got some awesome beer suggestions lately, and I was telling the guys, for everybody out there, before we got to recording today, that we're actually going to create a list, the DoD Podcast beer list, and put it up on the website so you guys can see all the suggestions that are being made to us. And if you made a suggestion, you'll see your name there with the beverages that you suggested to us, and people can go there and see what everybody's saying around the country. So I mean, this has turned into a little phenomenon, and I think it was Hambone that started what was it, hashtag Bottles Up Guardians, or was that you, Nolxero?
Actually, I didn't create it. One of our listeners did. I was just supporting it.
Nice.
Well, it's pretty cool. So, guys, if you are out there, I know this week we got a couple different pictures of people, with their PS4 controller, Xbox controller next to a beverage, and shooting us the picture of it with a suggestion. Some really cool pictures, as well as some really cool beers. But if you guys do that, definitely hashtag Bottles Up Guardians, and we'll get to see all those. So. Speaking of them playing games with their controller next to their beer, I did quite a bit of playing this week, which was nice. It was a nice, getting back to actually being able to play a little bit, and here in the holidays, I got a few days off, so I've been playing. And I don't know about you guys, but I have really, really enjoyed some of the changes that have taken place.
Mm-hmm.
I know we've gone through the updates here the past few weeks and all the stuff that's changed, but I really had a great time. As I mentioned when I introduced Hambone today, that I got to play with a bunch of the DoD savvy guys.
Yeah.
And we had a pretty good time, didn't we, Brian?
Yeah, man. It was fun. We got to do some Iron Banner. And I don't know if you guys know about Savvy, but we're not a big PvP clan. I like PvP, but not a ton of us in Savvy are like, oh, okay, let's see. What should we do tonight? Let's go play PvP. We're more of a PvE clan. So it was cool to get in there with a lot of savvy guys and we did it. We did well. We did well. So that was cool.
Maybe I'm just inundated with savvy friends on my PS4 account, but every time I got on this past week, I was in a group of savvy guys, and I even tweeted out a couple times, pictures where my back was hurting because I was carrying them through. But man, we just had a fun time. It was a great time. And all those guys out there that I played with this past week or two, hey, thanks so much for the games. It was a great experience. I had a lot of fun. And how far did you get in the Iron Banner 2.0 there, Pope?
You know what? I got I didn't get very far because I played on all three characters, and so I got 1 to 3, 1 to 2, and 2 to 2, and 1 to 3.
Okay.
Yeah. So
you didn't need the gear though.
No.
So
Yeah.
really...
So the reality was that I was just doing it as people invited me as I was playing the 3 different characters. I had already had all the banners and titles and everything from when the last time Iron Banner was up, so I didn't need to get the banner items and things like that. And I got a lot of the weapons through playing the Iron Banner. I got the heavy machine gun and those kind of things. The only thing that I really wanted to do this Iron Banner more than anything else was re-roll some of the Iron Banner equipment and try to get a heavy machine gun, arc damage heavy machine gun. And I don't want to tell you how many motes of light I spent trying to get an arc damage heavy machine gun that was good.
Well, I didn't even re-roll anything. Like I said, I got to play quite a bit, but it was typically late at night, and I think it was like 3 or 4 nights in a row. I hadn't played any of the Iron Banner. It was like the third or fourth night before it went off. And so I guess I started playing. I think I played with you a little bit, Pope, on Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday I played with savvy guys, and Monday night I ended up playing with some savvy guys and trying to get my boots for my warlock, so I could get to 30. And literally like 30 minutes before it goes out, I get to level 4, so I could go, or 3. So I could go and actually grab my boots. So I bought the boots, and then I was like, man, I got to get to level 4 real quick. I made it to level 4 with like I said, like 30 minutes to spare, and I was able to go farm some glimmer, come back and grab my class piece for my warlock and the shader and the emblem. So
nice.
I got it like literally right at the end, but it was a ton of fun. How about you, Nolxero? Did you get what were you doing in the 2.0 this week?
I got rank 5 on my Titan, and I got the armor pieces.
Overachiever.
Right.
I got my armor pieces, so I can get my Titan to level 30 now, which leaves my Warlock as the only person that can't get to 30 at this moment. Now I just got to put the time in and farm and upgrade the armor. But yeah, it's cool. The Iron Banner was a lot better. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the changes, and I'm glad that they made them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they were. It was a blast this week. In Hambone, what'd you ended up at?
I got my hunter to rank 5, but I didn't need anything. He's a 30. And
why did you even play him, man?
Because
what were
I
you
fell
doing?
into the trap of Pope, and like when you play with Pope, you have to bring it. So anytime we ended up on, like I always just went straight to the 30 because it's like
That's
there is a
right.
discrepancy between your 29s and your 30s, even with fully maxed out guns. So
That's right.
I played with Pope a good bit this week, so I ended up playing my 30 a lot this week.
You can look at those pictures I tweeted. There's no discrepancy. I'm 28 in the Iron Banner at the top almost every single time.
There's a difference between you playing TwoLoud and Hambone. So,
well,
can you elaborate on that? What are you saying?
I'm just saying that TwoLoud maybe is just a slight bit better than you at PvP.
Hey, check out my pictures on Twitter. I submitted pictures for Pope's sake on Twitter of me going 4 or 5 .0 KDs with my level 26 in the Iron Banner.
Well, then again, it's
and
you.
that
it's
that
you, David.
with
and we're talking about Hambone, right?
So, here we go.
Hey, but Hambone, what is your next level character? You have your 30 hunter. What's next?
I have a 29 warlock who I did get to level 2 in Iron Banner, and then I have a 28 Titan, and I don't even play the Titan as much because I generally think people who are Titans are less than me. Just in life and in game, so I just try to stay away from that Titan.
Ryan, I'm going to explain something.
I would take offense to that, except I have my almost level 30 warlock now, so obviously I would take offense to that. Post about to tear you.
Oh no, I just had to throw some Titan hate out there because if you've been following Twitter, Pope is throwing out some serious Hunter hate, so I just had to throw it back a little bit.
Hunter
Anybody
is
that's
probably
offended
the
by those
cheapest
comments, feedback.dod@gmail.com.
Oh, Hunter is the cheapest class that Bungie has made ever. Okay, so here's how I would rank us in PvP skill, and there's a reason
the comments made here are not the vision
not those
of the DoD
podcast, but those of the individual commentator. Yeah. So actually, I love having hunters on my team because I love when they come screaming by me like in their nearly invincible 10-second spree of blade dancing. Yeah, I love that on my team, but if I die 5 times in a game, it's going to be 4 times from a hunter. I mean, and they're going to be doing their super. So to me, that just says that it's overpowered. But that being said, Brian, I appreciate playing with savvy guys. It's always nice to have guys coming over from PvE to PvP. So I love having you on board when we play some PvP.
Yeah, man. And I'm not a handicap. Let's just get that out there. I mean, if you check Twitter, there is a picture of me with like a 7.0, like a 9.0. So I'm not a handicap here. And a lot of those games, TwoLoud and POPEBEAR.
Wait a second. Are you getting
game,
defensive
and I
right
was
now?
on top. So
are you
that's all I'm saying.
Right now?
What up?
No,
what up,
hey,
bro?
well, for everybody out there, Brian is actually a good PvP player. We just give him a hard time because
he's the less of us, though. I mean, he's at the bottom of the podcast staff.
Honest, these 3 guys are definitely PvP murderers, and I dabble. I go back and forth. But when
we can't blame you. You played Battlefield. We played a real competitive game.
Oh
so
my goodness!
It's not
Here we go.
Given time playing a real PvP game, he may be as good as us, but the reality is that he played Battlefield, which numbed his skills for quite some time.
No, they accelerated the skills. You have to learn to engage properly. You know what I mean? You don't.
Yeah, as you blade dance by me, right? That's you engaging properly.
I'm a golden gun guy. I'm a golden gun.
Yeah, well, I do. I will say that real quick. I've played a little bit of my hunter. I think I'm like 23, 24 on my hunter. And he's been sitting on the side for a while. And I played a lot of hunter in the beta and the alpha. And at the end of the day, man, I know that the blade dancers are really obviously a pain in the butt because they really are no skill. But for most of the really good players that I see, and what I noticed is obviously they keep a lot of their distance, right? And Golden Gun seems to be kind of making its way back a little bit. Obviously, everyone was taken by the Blade Dancer at first, but I saw this past week, especially in the Iron Banner, Golden Gun seems to be kind of moving back around, which I'm really happy to see because
Golden Gun
is a really good
can
class.
Be more OP than the Blade Dancer in the respect that if you got the armor piece that gave you an extra Golden Gun shot, that gives you 4 shots, and then there's an ability you can put on that when you kill a person with a Golden Gun, they explode, and that damage off of that is huge. Like you can literally, if they're grouped up and there's like 3 people right next to each other, and you shoot one of them, you can kill the other 2 with that explosion.
That's right.
Wow. Oh yes.
And there's also one that increases the accuracy, the range of it, and accuracy. So you can shoot cross map with a pistol, right? Shoot a guy very easily without aiming, because it gives a huge buffer to it, a huge area where there's an effective range, and then they explode. So it's like no skill across map.
Oh my goodness!
They explode. And they kill multiple people, and you've got 5 guys that you can kill.
Listen, I don't want to go back and forth all day on the hunter love and hate, but I will just say this. Number one, if you've ever fired the golden gun, you know that you still do have to aim the gun. The gun just can't be point. It's not like a fusion rifle where you just point it in the general area and you connect. I've missed quite a few golden gun shots. And secondly,
the thing why you're not a PvP player.
I can tell you, the most I've ever missed with the golden gun is when I aim down sights. It's actually great to hip fire it.
Yeah, I like to do a lot of hip firing too, but if you're trying to do what Pope is saying, like aim across the map, you definitely got to get a little aim down sights. And for all those who hate the hunter, be prepared to hate it even more, because in the dark below, there will be a perk on one of the new pieces that allows it to shoot even further.
Well, you're able to zoom in with it. It'll give it like a zoom ability.
Yeah, get ready for that. You'll be getting one-shotted across first light.
It's gonna be the sniper rifle, the real sniper rifle.
They got to do something to get people to start playing hunters again. Because everybody's playing warlock now, anyways, or Titan.
True,
so
I mean,
tons of people.
Yeah,
I love my warlock too. I mean, tons of people switched over, but perhaps it's Guardian Radio's influence. Although I know Mark is a Titan, but everybody else it seems like is playing warlock on that show. So
I played it. It was actually kind of odd though, because I played the Vault of Glass with a bunch of the Dungeon Protocol guys, and we were going through the game, and I turned around and I realized I was for the first time. I've played the Vault of Glass a ton of times. And for the first time, I looked around, and everybody was a warlock except for me.
Well, you come in real handy though whenever you get to Atheon, don't you? Because that's what happened for me. I was playing with a bunch of warlocks in Savvy this week, and when we got through, I was playing my 30 Titan, and I came in real beneficial to help take Atheon down by throwing that bubble up.
The weapons of light.
Weapons of light behind that shield whenever they jump in the middle to shoot Atheon. So.
That is a game changer, by the way. If you guys do not know, that is a game changer. It can take your number of times from like 4 times going through the portal to 1 or 2, depending on
Pope,
who you're
why don't you
with.
Describe that real quick so everybody kind of knows? Because you're the one that taught me what was going on there.
It was actually something that was that somebody showed me early on, and I can't remember. Otherwise, I'd give him total credit for it. But after you go and you're fighting Atheon, and you go in, and the Relic Bearer comes out. You have that times vengeance where you have a multiplier, and what my team usually does is we jump to the center, and we the shield bearer, the relic bearer, puts up a shield, and everybody gets inside of him in that center platform that is facing Atheon, right? And there's that open space. And the reason why that's important is because no ads can come up to you; they can't get across the gap. And so as long as you're in that bubble, you're protected. The Titan, one of the Titans, will put on Defender, and they'll put on the perk where they have Weapons of Light, which gives a damage boost. And the Titan will jump in to the center, throw the Weapons of Light. Everybody will get that effect, and then they'll move up into the Relic Bearer's shield zone. And for example, my fully leveled Icebreaker, right, gives 15,000 damage on Atheon when I shoot him just by itself with Times Vengeance. If I get Weapons of Light, it's 17,500 damage per shot. Wow. So I can use the corrective measure, which will put 1,500 per shot into him. 100 rounds of that in 20 seconds that Times Vengeance is up. I can put 100 rounds of 1,500 damage per round. Then I switch to my Icebreaker, and then I put 6 rounds of 17,000 into him. Me, the one character, can take off quarter of his health just by myself. So
Right.
if
And
you
that's just in one turn.
Right.
So like
if you
yeah,
have
so
if you have a team that is very well skilled in this and has the right equipment, you can beat Atheon in one turn very
wow.
easily. So
Yeah,
that's
I beat him.
that's the
I
pro
beat him
tip
in
in that.
two or three turns this past week a couple of
Right.
times. I haven't beat him in one turn yet, but again, just to reiterate that for everybody that's out there, so you kind of know when you're playing Atheon in the Vault of Glass, there's a platform that's kind of suspended in the middle between the two gates, and that platform is the one we jump to, and the guy that's holding the relic will hold down just how they cleanse you with left bumper. They'll hold down the relic to create that bubble, and then the Titan will put his bubble behind them at the back of the platform, so people can step into it and then step back into the other bubble. Because you can't shoot out of a Titan bubble,
Right.
but you can shoot out of the relic bubble.
And,
so
there's also one other thing that's very important
Except for
to
rocket
note.
launchers.
Right?
Yes.
You cannot shoot rocket launchers. And so that's one thing. And then second thing is, because of the way splash damage works on Atheon, there's two things that are extremely important when you put the bubble up. The relic holder needs to be making sure that their bubble is not touching. There's a little stone that's in the middle. If
Right.
the edge of their bubble is touching that stone, the splash damage will ricochet inside of the bubble and kill everybody. So the relic bearer needs to be in the front right corner of that platform so that the bubble's not touching. And then secondly, the weapons of light bubble cannot be crossing over the relic holder's bubble because of the same reason. Atheon's rounds will hit the bubble shield from the Titan and ricochet inside of the relic holders, and then people will be wondering, why did I die? What did I die? Well, that's why. The splash damage carried through that bubble into yours.
Well, one
and
of
killed you.
one of the runs I did this week, I actually died from splash damage, and luckily the three guys that we had left killed him before. Like three of us died trying to jump in the bubble, and then the three guys actually were able to finish him off. So we were happy that actually occurred. But yeah, I mean it's a great way, for you guys that maybe still not know what we're talking about. You can Google it, you can YouTube it. There's a ton of videos out there, and I'm sure Hambone might even be putting one up here soon. I don't know what his tips and tricks list is, but he'll definitely be doing that. Another thing that I learned this week was from Pope, believe it or not, was the new Sparrow trick. So for all those guys that got the new Sparrow, really
I
quick,
still have not.
Well, if you haven't, you should go check
Special orders.
Yeah,
So,
go check special
some
orders.
people didn't know this, and I was surprised at how many people didn't know it.
I didn't
but
know this.
You
me either.
you get your Sparrow in the Postmaster, right? For one of your characters as a special package. Well, you can for one glimmer, I think it's like 5 glimmer maybe.
Yeah,
He's available in
stupid.
special orders, so you can buy as many as you want for like 5 glimmer, and then put them on your other classes.
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to do that.
I know.
But
Nice.
yeah, it's a cool tip. And then the other thing is, I don't know if you know this, Nolxero, since you don't have it, but what I learned is when you're in the air doing tricks on this particular Sparrow, instead of doing like the wave sign and everything else that your D-pad normally does, the D-pad creates different things. So like you can do a Superman, right, by pushing down on the D-pad while you're in the air, or you can do like
no hands.
No hands in the air by pushing up, and then left and right do like your feet off to the side and off to the. And if you land the trick, you get this little ding.
Yep.
And we don't really know what it's for yet.
But we know there's a sound that when you land a jump cleanly, it sounds like a metallic like dollar like money sound. Like
and then if you pull the right trigger, you do barrel rolls. So if you push pull the right trigger and do left or right, you'll do like barrel rolls, or you can do front flips or back flips. Man, me and Pope must have spent 20 minutes like, watch this trick, and we were on Venus just trying to get to the daily, and it was just fun, man.
It makes the trip from one area to another, and now I realize, all those little ramps and stuff that as we were going to different missions, Brian, I remember clearly Brian and I and you playing, and we were like, man, these would be great if we could do tricks off of them.
Right.
And literally that's what they're there for. I mean, you can do so much stuff off of these ramps now. It's awesome.
Oh man, it was great. It was a fun. I mean, I had so much fun with that. And so for those of you out there that have it, go try to do some of those tricks. But you have to be in the air when you press the button. That's the key. In the air, press the D-pad buttons, and man, you'll find yourself sitting there for 20, 30 minutes going, I just wasted 30 minutes, but that was fun. So, like I said, this week, obviously, I got to play a lot of different stuff. And as I was doing dailies and as I was doing the weeklies and everything else with Pope, right before I was going to bed, he actually threw out a suggestion that I'd like him to share. And Pope, you talked a little bit about the difficulty. And I know this is going to apply to probably a very small scale of people that we play with, or that are in Dads of Destiny, because most of the guys are still, like I said, either leveling up to 30 or just got to 30 and are doing, the stuff, the normal, daily, weekly, nightfall kind of thing. But for those of you that maybe play a little bit more and are a little more hardcore, Pope had a really good idea for a playlist I'd like him to share.
When I was playing the weekly and the nightfall, I realized that there's a lot of repetition between the weekly and the nightfall, and it only gives us a little bit of variety when we go. As a matter of fact, the weekly and the nightfall are the exact same.
Yeah, which we don't understand now.
I truly don't understand. I would hope that Bungie would make this change. And it seems like a small one that would make a lot of sense for people that play the game a lot or want some variety. In the Vanguard playlist, you know how it goes through all the different types and it goes up to Tiger, right? The Tiger Strike playlist. I would love there to be another ring after Tiger, or an additional ring that says Nightfall. And it applies the Nightfall settings to a randomized strike mission, right? And when you get that bounty for the week, right, it should be a bounty from the guy that sells the bounties. It should be the Nightfall bounty. You go up and you purchase or select the Nightfall bounty. You get 1 week. It's on a timer that's a weekly timer. And so that way, I think it's difficult for a lot of people who work on a weekly basis, like that have a busy week, right? You should be able to grab a weekly Nightfall bounty and then complete it at your leisure, right? And so you go into that strike playlist, and maybe you have only a second to grab that bounty, right? And you're not going to be able to play that week. So you log in, grab the bounty, and maybe you have a couple bounties saved up. But it's in your inventory. That way you can grab it and play it later. But go back to the Vanguard playlist, select the Nightfall bounty, select the Nightfall playlist, and then play different maps that are all associated to the Nightfall settings. And the reason why this would be valuable or important is that people that play maybe the multiple Nightfalls, if you completed the bounty for that week, you would get the glowy swirly thing above your head and the XP boost. But then you could go back again and play the similar difficulty. Say if you have a level 30 character, you could go back and play that similar level difficulty and have some fun and get some cool experience versus the very boring Tiger Strike playlist. To be honest with you, I just run through that thing. I don't even get.
Well, I haven't played the Tiger playlist at all, dude. We're in month 2 of this game, 3, and I haven't played it.
Troy, you just run as a level 30. You just run through it.
Well, the reason why what you said was intriguing to me is because we played Nightfall with each other and other people.
Right.
And if I could go into Nightfall and it's a Nightfall playlist and it's like, hey, this week go to the Tiger Nightfall and defeat one of those so you get your bonus for the week, but it's random. So if Hambone or Nolxero jump on and they say, hey, you want to play Nightfall? I'm like, yeah, I need to do it this week. And we do it. And then Pope jumps on and says, hey, let's do it. It's a different experience.
Right, for me. And I can help you.
It's not the same one.
Yeah.
And so, for everybody involved, it's a new experience. And then, whether they find another way to intrigue us, with some type of bonus, or, hey, maybe you have a higher probability of when you turn in a Nightfall bounty that you get an exotic bounty.
Right.
So if that percentage is up, maybe people are doing Nightfall bounties for that. Whatever it is, I just think that level of play is available there. And like I said, to keep the repetitiveness off, but still not have to add a lot of content, I don't see how that is too hard to do.
And I think it literally the Nightfall should be a max level playlist, where whatever it is, if it's 30, it's 30. If it's 32, it's 32. Give the players that are playing a lot, or have max level characters a challenge.
Right.
and give us something that, if I see a wizard, I used to think that I saw a wizard and I'm like, oh crap, a wizard, right? Now I don't.
Right.
So I pull out an icebreaker 4 rounds into the sucker and he's dead. No matter what.
Well, what I think is fun too about the Nightfall that obviously now the weeklies have bonuses on them, right? They used to not have bonuses on them, but now they do as far as different types of damage go for the weeklies, which is one thing that they changed. But what I like about the Nightfall, what's always been fun is it's that thing of, oh crap, let's not start over. Let's be very careful, which is it's fun for people that get enjoyment out of that. But absolutely. The second thing is that it's like, okay, well, here's arc damage week, right? It's arc damage, and it's like, oh man, I have a really cool fusion rifle that I never use really because I'm always using my shotgun or whatever, but I have it and it's going to be perfect for this. And so I get to experience different weapons too that I use for the Nightfall. And it makes me play a different way per se, kind of, I guess you can throw it, in the meta range of life, as Bife would say, but it just changes the game a little bit. And I just think that a Nightfall playlist would be a really cool idea. I thought it was a great idea when Pope told me, and I just felt like, he actually had a good idea for once in his life. So, that I wanted to share that with the world.
I really appreciate that you feel that I had a good idea. Too loud, and I'm just gonna ignore that backhanded slap.
Well,
ignore it by acknowledging it.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I'll say that I did get this week, and this actually came from the Savvy group, was the trading topic, and we talked about this quite a bit because I have done, as I said, I did the raid a couple times this week, and I know a lot of guys have or haven't or aren't able to do that every week. And, one of the things that came up in our suggestion after we beat Atheon was, somebody had like their 3rd mythic class, and I still haven't got one.
Yeah.
But I did get a last word, and I already have a last word, and they're like, I'll trade you, and how cool would it be? And Nolxero, talk to me about this a little bit, because it's been a while since I've played Diablo, but wasn't there a time when you had an hour where you could trade with the people in your group?
Yeah, you can still do that. Excuse me. It's really nice if you're in, but the only thing is you have to be, you can trade with people you did whatever you got the thing from. So like if you're in, like the difference is like in Diablo, when you join a game, you're like in an instance of the game. And so as long as you're within the instance and there's someone else, like say me and you are in the same instance, then me and you can trade whatever items we picked up, regardless if we leave, come back, whatever.
Right.
We have a time limit, and it actually attaches to the item. It says, hey, these people you can trade this item with.
So how cool would it be if that was an option in this game? I mean,
awesome.
Look, we know that they don't want to put in trading, and they don't really want to create an auction house or anything like that, right? And so how awesome would it be to say, hey, look, I got this piece, or, let's say me and Pope are playing through the next raid together, okay? And he gets 2 chess pieces, he gets his 2nd chess piece, and I get my 2nd boots. I mean, we're playing this together, right? We've done the difficulty together. We've gone through it together.
Right.
How awesome would it be for us to be able to trade with each other?
Yeah.
And us to say, and me to
That's
say,
brilliant.
look, I have an hour to trade with you. You played this with me. You were there, so you contributed to the situation. I have an hour now to trade you. So here, I'll trade you this. And,
I think it's different than that. I think it's more restrictive than that. It's in the, how the game doesn't end. It has that 30-second. It has that 30-second countdown, and then whatever. On most of the strikes and things like that, they have a 30-second, and then you get to orbit, right? What if they extended that to like 3 minutes, and then you could press the button to go to orbit, or 3 minutes to trade, and you could trade, like what you're saying, any weapons or armor or anything that was received within that game instance.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you guys are talking about, and I think that is brilliant.
Yeah, I just think that's a really good idea, and please, somebody at Bungie,
I don't think
take that idea.
I don't think Bungie doesn't want trading in the game. I read a thing that said that trading, and there was more than just what we see as the current economy in the game during testing before the game was fully released. I think, and I talked about this with you before, Troy, is, a lot of games have problems with trading as being a way of like duplicating items and stuff like that. Like, just for instance, back in the day, I used to play Phantasy Star Online. And so if you had a bunch of cool items and you wanted to you wanted to duplicate them, basically what you do is you go into a room, have your friends start a room, and you drop all your items out of your character. And it was on Dreamcast, so they had the VMUs for the memory cards. You pull the VMU out of the controller, it would disconnect you from the server, and then when you plug it back in and log back in, your items would be in that room plus all on your character, so you could duplicate anything you wanted. So I think what they did is I think that they found some of these errors or like duplication tricks within testing, and I think they're just trying to fine-tune that system to make sure there's no way to cheat the system and duplicate Mytho class so everybody has a Mytho class or whatever, because then it makes it real easy.
I think that's what's cool about Diablo, though, is the time limit, right? Like, even if you could duplicate it, say like Pope saying, if you could duplicate it, you'd have to do it in 3 minutes.
Right.
And you wouldn't, and it would be useless. Like, you wouldn't be able to. You have to give it to somebody, right?
And once you log out, you couldn't do it anymore. You know, like you have that time section. But anyways, look, I'm sure there's coding issues. I'm sure you're right. I'm sure that's probably what happened. I remember talking to you about that.
I just want broad trading instead of just the 3 minutes. I want you to be able to trade me, because I'll give you whatever you want, so you can go farm spin metal and stuff like that for me. You give me spin metal, I'll give you whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, and I know that's, you know, that would be awesome to have. I just think in this small scheme for people that are doing these raids, and this is why this came up, and I wanted to say it is, you know, a raid is a lot of fun right now for me. I have a blast doing it, but it is still, you know, an experience that takes a lot of time, right? I mean, it takes say it takes an hour. I know Pope has been able to do it in quite substantially shorter times than that.
36 minutes is my record right now.
But on hard for the average group, I'd say it's at least an hour, hour and a half for the average group.
Right.
And that's guys that have ran it most of the time. And, you know, after you get to a point where you run it 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and, you know, weeks have gone by and you still don't have that piece that you want. I still don't have a mythic class, or, you know, somebody else is getting their 5th one and I haven't got one. This is where I think this game could turn around and say, okay, well, I'll reward you. Let other people trade with you.
Right.
You can still still get the reward away, and it's been weeks.
And what I think makes it extremely valuable, the idea that we're throwing around right here, and what I disagree with you, David, a little bit on, is I don't think that general trading is where it should be. I think that whatever rewards you have gained within that match can be traded for other rewards within that match, and you can't just trade whatever. And I think that would solve the issue of people playing together and feeling like they have to apologize because they've gotten their 5th mytho class and their friend and teammate has been shafted for the last 5 raids. So I think that would solve that, like, you know, need to apologize to your friends when you're getting something.
Well, as Brian said, Brian said a few weeks ago, you know, him and Nolxero were playing together, and, you know, Nolxero had stayed up hours and hours and hours to get a mytho class and get his warlock up to, you know, the level to take him through, and they got through, and, you know, Brian got him another mytho class, another one, and Nolxero didn't.
And I got one too, and he didn't get one. It was it was ridiculous.
And so it's like, you know, we don't really want to tell you what we got because we feel bad that you didn't get what you came in here for. And I just think it would be an awesome opportunity for Bungie to not have to do maybe too much work behind the scenes to make it really, you know, to really clarify things like Nolxero saying, like a trading system that's in WoW or something. But this would be a pretty simple solution. But, you know, like I said, I'm not a coder and I'm not, you know, a game engineer, so I don't really know what all's taken there. But just an idea, you know, if you guys like it, send us your feedback. Tell us what you think. Tell us what kind of, you know, ideas that you have on trading, or if it would be viable to you, you know, if you're interested in that. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. But, well, this week real quick, you know, obviously we haven't covered any update Deej has done because really there wasn't much of one. He basically said, you know, you guys have fun, get full of turkey, and, you know, take a nap, have fun, play some games. You know, basically just saying as a thank you letter to the community during Thanksgiving time, with the announcement of the Black Friday sale. So that's basically all it was. So, you know, hopefully you guys, you know, take some of our tips and tricks and enjoy what we've talked about here this week, since we really didn't have an update to cover, and definitely give us your feedback. But let's go ahead and jump over to our other part of the show called What's That on Your Screen?
Good luck. Dad. What is that on your screen? Wait, is that a new game?
All right, guys. So this week, I kind of want to know what else maybe you've been playing real quick. As I mentioned, I was pretty focused on playing a lot of Destiny this week because of the Iron Baron 2.0. I know that, Pope, you're going to be playing here. We record this, obviously, a few days before it comes out, so you're going to actually be recording your Halo experience, the Bunny and Bear show, here this evening. But I don't know if you've played any of the Halo this week. I haven't. I've been watching the updates, right? And I've been keeping tuned, and I tell you every day, hey, they put out another update, but it didn't work. And so I think twice this week I said to you, they put out another update and it didn't work.
Right.
I'm just waiting for it to get fixed so I can jump over there. I am really, really intrigued with Halo 5, and so I'll definitely be playing a lot of that. So I really haven't played anything else but Destiny this week. What about you, Pope?
I'm in the same place. I've been playing a ridiculous amount of Destiny. I keep getting drawn back to this game, even though, I feel like I've done a lot of what's out there. But I play the Vault of Glass multiple times a week, even after the rewards are gone. I'm enjoying playing with people. So I haven't been playing a whole lot else. I did play some every time there was an update and I could play Halo. I've been jumping in to see if it's working. But I am excited this evening. So at 7:00, we do the live show on Thursdays at 7. But since it was Thanksgiving, we're going to be doing it tonight. But this is Friday, so it will be in the past for you guys. But we do normally every Thursday at 7:00. We live stream on the DoD Podcast Twitch channel, twitch.tv/the DoD Podcast. We'll be live streaming Belle Bunny, who's the founder of Dames of Destiny, and I will. We do a really cool walkthrough of one of the missions, and we're on the second mission of the series, and it's a ton of fun. She loves to jump in the Warthog gunner, and I love to drive, so it's a match made in heaven for sure.
Well, it'll be good to see how many times she kills you tonight, right? So.
We talked about that a little bit. She found it funny to find, because you can kill your teammates in that game, and she found it entertaining to find as many different ways possible to kill me.
Yeah, throw a sticky nade on the Warthog while you're driving,
Dude,
and don't. So.
You'll basically have your own little South Park thing going on here. Oh my God, you killed POPEBEAR! You bastard!
Exactly.
Who killed POPEBEAR?
Well, I know, Hambone, you've been moving, so you really haven't had time to play anything this week.
Yeah,
you didn't even get to play a lot of Destiny.
I do have some Battlefield news, huh?
How
about it?
Oh my!
Battlefield released their Final Stand DLC, so I do plan, because I did buy the premium edition of that game, and I still have it. It's I do a lot of trading in of games, and usually after I've beaten it or after I'm bored with it, it goes back. But there are certain games that just stay with me until their next cycle comes out. So
like
Battlefield is one of them.
Kind of like a Ethan or a growth.
Well, yeah, this is like a good bacteria, though. This is something you want in your life. So yeah, I'm in. Sure. I haven't got to play it, but they have added quite a few new guns and finally fixed a lot of the game-breaking bugs. And
as I said last week, if I got to play Halo in a year, just like I'd have to play Battlefield a year after it comes out to actually have fun with it,
yeah,
I won't be playing Halo, and which is really tough for that. But I was looking at games this week. I was really thinking about picking up Sunset Overdrive. I'm not going to, because I got way too much stuff going on. But I would like to hear from some guys out there that are in our Xbox community that are playing Sunset Overdrive. I mean, I watched some Twitch streams while I was at work this week. I kind of had it on my second screen watching it, and that game just looks like a blast, man. It looks like a ton of fun, and so I'd love to hear about that. But the person that has been playing a little bit of something this week is Nolxero, and he's actually had his hands on Dragon Age, which may or may not be applied to a lot of people in our community if they've been able to pick it up. But I know there's a ton of Dragon Age fans out there. So Nolxero, tell us a little bit about your experience with Dragon Age this week.
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to say I am of RPG origins, not shooter. I started my whole gaming in RPGs, Final Fantasy and all that. Love RPGs. I love shooters as well, but I would say my heart lies with RPGs. So when one as big as Dragon Age comes out, I'm always interested and I'm always ready to jump into deep stories and stuff like that. So I've been playing 2 things on there. They have a multiplayer, which is kind of like a dungeon crawler. It's like I would say Diablo light. Probably
so it's
light,
like co-op?
light.
It's like co-op multiplayer?
Yeah, it's like 4-player. You go through like a dungeon and then, just kind of battle through the dungeon. There's a big finale at each end of each stage, and then, you get loot. And then you go back into
Does the loot drop out of the boss?
Actually it does not.
What is up with these console loot drops?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
My goodness. Okay, so go ahead.
It's not as bad as what I thought with Destiny, where I was like, oh, they need to change this. But I will tell you this: it feels monetized really badly, because in Dragon Age you can go into the multiplayer and you can buy what they call platinum. And so whenever you go to the store in multiplayer, you can buy different size chests that give you loot out of them. And so this is the only way to get like potions to heal yourself while you're playing through a match. And it costs a decent amount of gold to buy these things. Not too much, where it's like, dude, I basically should buy platinum. But whenever you're playing, it's like, okay, well, the items that come out of it is, you're looking for decent items, and it's hard. It's really hard finding items. And I know a lot of people that I've played with on Xbox One have bought, platinum and bought a bunch of chests just to get some decent items. So I think that they kind of did that to inspire you to buy platinum, which I'm not a fan of that. But overall, it's a good experience. It's a lot of fun, and if you find somebody with a mic, you can have a decent time on it. The story.
Played a lot of the single player too?
I have. I probably put about 12, 14 hours into the single player. The single player is interesting because, unlike other Dragon Ages, where it's like you are this guy and in the world, this one is called Dragon Age Inquisition because at the very beginning of the game, and I don't think I'm spoiling anything here, but spoiler alerts. Shortly after you create your character, you find out that you're going to head up the Inquisition. And basically you're tasked with closing the rift, or the darkness that is kind of spreading in the world right now. Anyways, in this, you not only control your character in like a party and go out and do your normal story missions, but then there's like a thing called the War Table, where there's things happening on this global map that you can take different agents of the Inquisition and put them in areas. So like you have a person that's very political and handles things very politically. You have a guy that is very military and he's like, oh, let's send our armies to take care of this problem. And then you have like this assassin character that's like, oh, we can go in and extract secrets using assassins and, spies. So there's a lot going on there, and it's a lot of fun. I'm not sure. I've heard the story isn't that great from reviews, but the story seems to be okay to me at this point, and it seems to be in depth enough to be considered worthy. I would rate the game about an 8. If anybody's wondering what my rating would be, I'd say it's about an 8. But I know y'all aren't going to play it, so I've been just
I'm not obviously you've got me into a lot of games, but RPGs still haven't really become my thing per se.
I'd say you're not into RPGs that aren't heavily multiplayer. Like WoW is an RPG, but it's very, very multiplayer, so you're into it.
Yeah,
Diablo is very RPG, is definitely an RPG, but it's multiplayer, so you're into it.
Well, and I think me and Pope had this discussion. It might have even been before we did this podcast, but it was, we when we jump online, we kind of want that social experience, and so for me personally, I don't play that much, and when I do play, I want to enjoy it, and I want to kind of game with other people and friends, because I talk to little kids enough here in my life, and so I kind of want that social experience, but. I've seen that game. The game looks beautiful. I mean, Dragon Age looks phenomenal as far as the art and everything goes.
It looks really good. I would say it looks not quite next gen. It looks like it's in between. Like it's not quite as next gen as it could look, but it looks pretty darn good. But I will say this to all the shooter fans out there: you can thank RPGs for the stuff you're enjoying in Call of Duty and Destiny.
Oh yeah,
all this other stuff. All has RPG origins.
Well, Nolxero, if they want to play with you on Xbox, because you picked this up and you're playing it on your Xbox instead of your PS4.
Correct.
What's your gamer tag on there?
It's Nolxero, but on Xbox, I had the original Xbox, And when they made the transfer to 360, I couldn't transfer my Nolxero account, so it's actually Nolzero for Xbox.
Awesome. So if you guys are out there, you want to play a little bit of Dragon Age with him, definitely hit him up, Nolzero.
Correct.
Well, let's go ahead and jump over to Stories from the Tower.
And now it's time for Stories from the Tower. Stories that come from you, to us, and back to you. Be prepared to laugh at time, or 3, or 2.
All right, Hambone, tell us something fun, something funny here from the Stories from the Tower this week.
Oh man, we actually got quite a few stories from some different areas. We got some from feedback.dod, and we also had some pretty funny ones posted up on Bungie.net. So I'm going to do my best to share all of these in the weeks coming ahead, but I'm just going to share a couple with you today. So the first one is from feedback.dod@gmail.com, and it comes from Jason Tay. And it's just a really quick one, just a little funny story, something that I thought was kind of cute. So here we go. As many children do, my kids try to count with real time by saying Mississippi after each number. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, etc. One day, my 8-year-old son was counting in this manner when my 6-year-old son finally asked, "Who is Mrs. Hippie anyway?" So, I just thought that was a little cute one. And of course, they're from Oregon. So if you know anything about the West Coast culture, you would get that joke,
Right,
Mrs.
right.
Hippie.
Well, he also sent a picture, I think, of his boys sitting in his game room, and they got quite a setup, man.
Man, that setup is awesome.
3 TVs, and he has A50 Astros over there. And
Yeah, little
Xbox
laptop action going on.
360, Xbox One. They got I think he said they got 3 360s so they can all play together because he's got 2 boys, and so they got 3 360s so they can all play together, which is really cool. And they're all playing Destiny on the picture he sends us. So
I would
Jason,
love to do that.
Yeah, Jason, thanks for sending that out, man. It's awesome to see.
All right, so our next one is coming from Bungie.net, and it's posted by Agayasi. I was about 6, and we were having Thanksgiving dinner at my uncle's house. My mom and aunt were in the kitchen cooking while my cousins, little bro, and I were playing. My stepdad calls us in to get ready to eat as all the grown-ups are putting the food on the table. My uncle sets up this big roasted turkey down in the center of the table. My mom follows with potato salad, then sweet potatoes and cornbread dressing. As they're all getting the plates and drinks into place, I watch my little bro stand up in his chair at the head of the table, pull his pants down, and pee all over the food. I even remember the splattering. So all the hysteria that ensued, we wound up eating from Crystal, which is similar to a White Castle.
Oh my goodness, dude.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know this week, we did the what was your worst Thanksgiving story on Bungie.net, and I would say that qualifies for sure. What do you guys think?
Oh my god,
dude, that has to be the worst story ever for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I tell you, I spent 12 hours preparing Thanksgiving for a family, and if someone stood up and peed all over it,
peed all over the
I'd
food.
be going to jail. I'd be going to jail. That's all I can say. I'm not going to lie.
Oh my god,
I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. This next one, it comes from Mad Matt 247, and if you have some little ones around, you might want to put them to the side or maybe skip this section. But it's a pretty funny story, and some other people on Bungie.net agreed. And it says, my worst Thanksgiving occurred when I was in my 20s. I was working full-time and going to college full-time and living in California while my family was back in Missouri. Needless to say, I never had any money to fly back and forth for the holidays, so one year I decided to try to make it back for Turkey Day. The whole thing was going to be a surprise for my mom. I told her I wouldn't make it again this year, but really my brother was going to pick me up at the airport using the excuse he had to check something for work. Then we would show up and surprise Mom. Everything was going smoothly. My brother picked me up, and as a thanks, I shared with him that I might have brought a little bit of Cali's finest back to Missouri. So we show up at my parents' house, go inside, and walk into the living room, and surprise! Mom and Dad are stuffing the turkey, if you know what I mean. And if you don't know what he means he caught his parents getting a little bump and grind on. He says he drops the biggest F-bomb, and his brother is laughing hysterically as they step out while their mom and dad try to pick up what's left of their dignity. Awkward silence follows, as you could imagine. finally things loosen up again, and we're sitting around drinking a little bit of booze, and we're all at the table doing the "What are you thankful for?" And then as it comes to my brother's turn, who is now pretty drunk, he offers up, "I'm thankful that Matt brought a joint the size of that turkey leg on the airplane because I'm going to need it after what I saw today." So, as you can imagine, that was probably a pretty scarring event for him to live through. Dude. And so, like he said, the recap is that he spent his money, his hard-earned money, to fly halfway across the country so he could walk in on his parents having sex, and so that they can learn that both their sons are pot smokers. Happy Thanksgiving! So I thought that was pretty awesome.
Oh man, thanks for sharing that. That is awesome story.
That is a good story, man. So yeah, guys, keep sharing, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. And check every week. Hambone will have a topic up on the forums for you guys to go ahead and give your story or your 2 cents on, so he can share it here on the podcast. So definitely make sure you get that to us. You can also shoot it over to us at feedback.dod@gmail.com. And Nolxero, tell us about a few emails we got this week.
All right, so for feedback this week, we have our boy Clue, which he asked me to spell out his name, which is Have a Clue, which is no E's. It's HAVACLU. And that's for anybody looking for him on Xbox. He said that someone looked for about half an hour to find Clue with the E. And so he asked me to actually spell out his name. But here's his wisdom, the wise words from Clue this week. He says, "We all have those moments when past experience and, more importantly, self-preservation tells us popping oracles for our team during the raid isn't so important. We need to put down the controller." And here's his story to kind of explain why he thinks that. He goes, "Was playing Destiny with a good friend Alan, and the only way I know how to say this name is A51st Trooper, and could hear plenty of commotion in my ear from the microphone of his headset. He has 4 kids, so he's used to a certain level of chaos at the home. He said it began as he described it to me with an attempt on their part, to duct tape a cardboard box on top of a skateboard. I mentioned scabs and crying were in his near future. Do you need to go? Alan didn't even flinch. With 1 child, you are overly protective of every little thing. With 4, well, you learn what's important and what isn't. We continued to play, and out the door they went. They came back in later, and he casually mentioned they were covered in paint. Looks like they're going into some paint." And then Clue said, "Do you need to go?" He said, "Nah, she's got that. Alan's wife is a saint and a dynamo. Alan is still cool as a cucumber." We continue to play. A few moments later, his wife is walking out the door with a bucket of water and a scrub brush. He gets the look. Uh-oh, time to put the controller down.
I get the look for sure if it's during the day and something's going on. It's like, hey, you've been playing for 30 minutes, and it's like, I just got into this, So,
right. Well, I hate that moment when you think you make the judgment call, like, oh, this isn't a big deal. I'm good. And then you get that look, and you're like, "Oh crap! It was a big deal."
It wasn't good. It wasn't good.
Right. Well, some of the other
Man
things,
down.
real quick.
Man
yeah,
down.
I know. Clue sent us another email this week, and he was asking about, taking time farming Glimmer and what to use it for. Is it worth taking time to farm Glimmer? He also said, how do you know what weapon you should take time to level up on? And why does it take so long to level up exotics? So let's get some of y'all's feedback real quick. Pope, what do you think? Is it worth farming Glimmer right now? And what weapons should you level up? And why is it taking so long to level up exotics?
I think that a lot of the weapon upgrades can be sped up by doing bounties, and there's ways of that are built within the game. So if you just simply play missions and use the weapon without using any of the mechanisms that are within the game to speed up that process, it's going to take a long time. So they've built in ways of you speeding up that whole process, from using telemetries that are sold by Zur that are extremely important to use when you're trying to use when you're going to farm anything. Flip on a telemetry and use the items that are in game, like the Black Wax idols, to get Glimmer. There are ways of speeding it up, and if you're not using them, then it's going to seem like it takes a really long time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Another thing is doing bounties. Literally doing the bounties and then turning them in does an amazing amount of work towards ranking up a gun, because what some people don't know is that if you put maxed out armor and maxed out weapons in your character and leave the one gun that you want to rank up open and the other slots filled up, all of the XP that you're earning from that bounty, all of it is being focused on that one item. And so you can actually gain all the glimmer and all the resources ahead of time, go in, do some bounties, and you'll be done with a gun in very, very short order.
Yeah, in fact, that was a tip that Nolxero actually shared with everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like 3 or 4 weeks, 5 weeks ago.
That's where I got it. That's where I got it, and I've been using it ever since. And I don't find that it's difficult to rank up a gun at all now.
Yeah. I mean, I would say for the glimmer part, I don't really farm glimmer. I farm glimmer a little bit whenever I did the purchasing of my stuff from the Iron Banner 2.0. I farmed a little bit because those items cost a lot of money. But, as much as we play, I think we gather enough glimmer usually as we need. I feel like they've toned it down a bunch on the glimmer farming or the glimmer experience that you get, because I definitely have noticed, at the first 2 or 3 weeks, I mean, I had like 20,000 glimmer all the time, and now I don't, I only have like 7, 8, maybe 10 if I'm lucky at one given time. So, it might be also that we're buying a lot of upgrades on exotics and everything else, but glimmer farming, I don't do a whole lot of it. I don't think it's as needed as much right now as if the game is performing correctly. I don't think glimmer farming is a farming mechanism that they actually want you to do in the game very much.
Right.
I think the elements, yes, but not glimmer as much.
I think
glimmer.
He was saying something about why, like level 30s, he knew were farming glimmer. I think that they were doing it because, like you said, the Iron Banner. I think because when he had put the email out, the time would have been because of Iron Banner. Because I know I had max glimmer. I still had to go farm glimmer to end up, when I got to level 5, buying all the items.
Right. Yeah, so that would explain it. They're buying items that were really expensive in Iron, because like for like the shoulders, it's like 9,000 or 10,000 glimmer just for the one. So
and on the random aspect of having 3 characters, that really changes your glimmer distribution, because that is shared through all 3 characters. So
yeah, that's right.
I find myself needing to do a lot of glimmer farming because of the fact that I'm rolling 3 characters. And the other 2, I'm trying to get to level 30. So I'm buying things that I might need glimmer for. But if I'm just rolling my main, I like TwoLoud said, I normally try to keep about 12,000 max on me, because that's going to get you any special item that you need, at least one of them, or whatever you're going to see in the game. So that's usually how I do it.
Well, how do you know what weapons you should level up? I think for me, the weapons I level up are obviously I don't take a lot of time doing anything else but legendary items, legendary and exotics. Legendaries, most of the legendaries that I level up are the ones that we get from the raid, because they're so much better than most of the other ones.
Yeah, much better than exotics a lot of time.
Yeah, I think you got to really find what you like though, right? Because I'm going to level up. I'm going to spend my first time leveling up hand cannons and scout rifles, and some other people might level up auto rifles and pulse rifles first.
That's what I did. Yeah, I did auto rifles.
Yeah, and so it's just a matter. That is all a matter of opinion. That is all a preference situation. And I think Nolxero, you can share it one more time so everybody can know. But to basically answer his last question on the exotic weapons, How do we level up everything, including exotic weapons, normally?
Basically, what you want to do, and it's legendaries. Anything you want to level up, what you do is you take all your slots and you max level anything, blue gear, whatever. Put it into your armor slots, your weapon slots, and we're going to use Soros Regime as a weapon of choice here. So whenever you do this, you put those Soros in your primary slot, and whenever you do your bounties, if you have a telemetry for auto rifles, when you come to turn in all your bounties at once, turn on your telemetry and make sure all your slots are maxed out items, except for the Soros, obviously. When you turn in those bounties, you'll get all the XP directed right at the Soros, and it makes it very, very quick to level those things up.
One of the things I do with the telemetries, because you still do get a boost for killing things while you're using the telemetry, and they're activated for a half hour. So I usually just try to time it out, and I'll usually go and do some patrols, or go do a mission like on level 28, while I'm using the telemetry for the first 15 minutes or so, and then get back to the tower, turn in the bounties with the telemetry still active and the nightfall bonus, and you can get a gun done pretty quickly. And if you're rolling 3 characters, it becomes super easy, because then you just take those same 5-6 Vanguard bounties that are pretty easy, and you repeat that 3 times, and you switch the weapon each time to that character, and you can get a gun done in like an hour, 2 hours, 3, somewhere around there, and have a fully leveled gun. So,
well, tell us, what other emails did we get this week?
All right, the next email we got this week was from Hugatti on PSN, and it's WHOGODDY. He basically sent us a little theory he has on different kinds of drinks. There's 3 kinds of drinks, or 3 main drinks. And here it goes. Drink 1 is a social drink. For most dads, this is their favorite beer. Mine was Budweiser, not Bud Light, not Lime, but regular Budweiser. Drink 2 is like your club drink, what you always do over at the clubs or bars. His drink of choice then was the Crown and Coke. That's his, for instance. Now, drink 3 is the interesting one. This one is called Your Sin, because it is the embodiment of sin. It is the one drink that you shouldn't, you shouldn't have, but drink anyway. It's the one that when you have it, something always happens. Whether it's good, it's bad, you remember it, maybe you don't. Something always happens when you have this drink. Here's my drink for this one is also the for Hambone's bottles on a bargain section. He says, but if you never had it, don't try it, because there is a particular tradition with it amongst my old drinking buddies. Sorry, I messed that up. It's known as Erkinger. Its actual name is E&J.
E&J. E&J, I know all about it. It's in my closet right now.
Which is funny when he sent this email is I have a friend named Richard, and he's here in Austin, and this guy, he's a big drinker. He drinks everything I can think of. But his drink, his sin, is Crown Royal. This guy, I've seen this guy drink so many different things, and one time he drank Crown Royal with me, and he got to a point of like wanting to fight me, and I've known this dude for years.
Oh, that's too funny.
So yeah, he's definitely onto something with this theory.
Oh man, let me just enlighten you here. The Irk and Jerk is a hood staple. I'm telling you, man. If you go to a bar in like an urban area in the inner city, you'll find somebody with some E&J. It's like $9 for a fifth, right? Of this Irk and Jerk, which is brandy. And then if you go with the VSOP, it's like maybe $10. But you take that E&J and mix it with some normal ginger ale, and it'll rock your world. I'm telling you.
That's what I've always heard about Mad Dog 2020 is that people always get crazy on Mad Dog 2020.
Well, Mad Dog is malt liquor, so yeah, you get pretty crazy on anything with malt liquor in it. But my sin would have to be tequila. Like anytime I drink tequila, it's one of the 3 Fs. I either want to, or 2 Fs. I either want to fight or I can't say that word. But so that's usually how it happens when I get with tequila.
All right. Well, what else you got for us, Nolxero, this week?
Last 2 are real quick. It's just Justin Euler. He sent us an email, and he was basically asking us some stuff or saying some stuff, and he mentioned Bell had brought up a topic, and then he sent a follow-up email to say, oh, I meant to send that to Guardian Radio, not y'all. I listened to both shows. Sorry to congest the inbox. So I wanted to tell him thank you for the Guardian Radio email. And then we have Kevin Silball. His beer list, I want to let him know it'll be on the website, and to use a reference from Deej, it'll be coming soon.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, absolutely.
like
I mean, and just so you guys know, like I said earlier, we're actually going to take a list and put all the beer suggestions on the website. So definitely stay tuned. And as Nolxero and I guess Deej as well says, coming soon. So, well, guys. Yeah, absolutely. You never know when you're going to get it. So, we will update the website soon. Right?
Guess you have to check the website every day now.
Yeah, every day.
Well, guys, as always, thanks for listening. We hope you guys enjoyed the show. Make sure you rate us on iTunes. Make sure you check us out on YouTube and Twitch at the DoD Podcast. or go to thedodpodcast.com for direct links. You can also visit Guardian Radio Network for tons of other great podcasts and videos. Follow us on Twitter at the DoD Podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at TwoLoudtx, TWOLOUDTX. That's not Tulu. I've had so many people call me Tulu, man.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, you don't see the D? You don't
There's a big
so,
D
I've
there.
heard that too.
Yeah. And then,
Well, it's not that big of a D. I think it's lowercase D. Isn't it a lowercase D?
No, it's capital.
Oh, okay.
And then you got Nolxero, Nolxero, POPEBEAR, Pope_bear. Or if you just find Bell Bunny, you'll find Pope anywhere you find her. Then you got Hambone at HamboneDini, HAMBODINI. Don't forget to visit dadsofdestiny.net and register on the new forums and check out all the great things they got going over there as well. Thanks again for listening, and until next time, see you later, alligator.
After a while, crocodile.
Take care, polar bear.
And deuces, mooses.
Oh, come on. That doesn't even rhyme.
It's perfect.
It works.
It's such a black guy statement. That's a black guy statement through and through.